So let's just go through and discuss the attributes of a perfect investment.
Yeah, and when we think of investment, Nick, let's think of it in terms, again, I don't mean to get off the book at all, but really, where do we put our money?
Yeah.
Where is the perfect place to store money? That's the way we kind of want to look at it, because the perfect investment is, whatever's going to go up 600% in the next year. Well, how do we guess? I mean, that's gambling, right? We have no idea. So that would be the perfect investment. And then we'd get out at the very top. And we know that that's not really what happens. But when the first thing that people look for, or they think is the most important, is high rate of return.
Yeah. Which is subjective anyway. But that's what people are always wanting, right? They want the most bang for their buck.
Yep. Now, here's the funny thing about that is, what does rate of return really mean? Does that mean compound annual growth rate? Or does that mean, who tells you what the rate of return is?
My bank account, my balance really is what it should be, but that's not the way most people look at that, right? Most people are sitting down with their money babysitter saying, hey, what's this rate of return that I'm going to get?
What it should be, okay? Again, I'm not going to destroy Carlos's words here. Is high rate of growth.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Second attribute.
Consistent rate of return. So compounding, right? Like I listened to a great podcast this weekend, and the guy, he said it. He goes, Einstein said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And then he laughed. He goes, actually, every time I say that on a show or on Twitter, I get blasted with people saying, no, Einstein never said it. Who cares if he said it or not? It's a great quote.
Yeah. Well, and that's not what he said. So anyway, but so think about consistent rate of return. And one of the things that I think about with that kind of reminds me of average versus actual, Nick. And so let's just do a quick version of that. All right. So let's say that I have $100,000.
Okay.
And in the first year, I gain 100%.
Okay.
Now I have $200,000, right?
200,000.
Okay. The second year, I lose 100%. I'm sorry, 50%.
And now I got 100,000.
The next year, I gain 100% again.
Oh, I got 200,000.
All right. And then the final and fourth year, I lose 50%.
I appreciate the Kentucky math going on here, because I know that we have 100%.
That's
$100,000.
Now, what's my rate of return?
Oh, man. Zero in my brain, but I know that that's not the way people think about it.
Zero growth, but I went up how much? 200%. And I went down only 100%, which means my average rate of return is 25%, and I had no growth.
Yeah.
So consistent rate of return is average versus actual. It's not having this in the market, right? And that line makes a lot of people nervous. And when do we get out and when do we get in? That all really has a major bearing on our results. And we want growth, right? Okay, what's number 3, Nick?
Oh, safe. That beautiful 4-letter word that we've been talking about.
So what's the definition of an investment?
Let's see. That means there's a risk involved.
Risk of losing all of our money.
Yep.
So that is the opposite of safe, but we would want it to be safe. Okay, number 4.
It's liquid, because we want to be able to get our hands on it, right?
Now, is a 401k or an IRA liquid?
Not even sort of.
No. Is the stock market, is it liquid? What if it's down and I really need the money?
Yeah, well, it depends on what time of day you need it too.
Exactly. So liquidity means that I control when I have use of my money, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What's number 5?
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Now that's a word. And I'll tell you what, if we had our securities license, this would really be a problem word right now, because guaranteed is not something that they want you to use. Okay. But guaranteed.
Hey, Jim,
Yes.
when you used to sit down with clients and you used to talk to them back in the day about what their projections were in their good growth stock mutual fund over 30 years.
Yeah.
What was the one guarantee that you had to give them?
That it wasn't going to look like what I was showing them. That was the one guarantee.
100% risk of loss is what you said.
100% risk of loss. And I would say to them sometimes, Nick, if I lost you 10%, but the market went down 15%, would you fire me? And by the way, if they said yes, then I didn't hire them, because I was hiring them too. They didn't realize that. But, you know, I mean, if I do better than the market and you still fire me, then that's really not somebody I want as a client, right? So, all right, what's number 6?
Tax benefits, or in parentheses, tax-free.
Tax-free.
Tax invisible, right? Like we talk about that.
Invisible.
I like that
writing
word.
fast and spelling hopefully correctly. So tax invisible. Now think about that for a second. Think about what happens in a 401k. You have all this money, it's growing, and at some point in time, you're going to take it out, you're going to pay taxes on it, but you have no idea what the tax is going to be. You have no idea what the taxes are going to be on this, this perfect investment if it's not tax-free. Right. Tomorrow, they could change the tax rate. Are you in control of that at all?
Not even sort of.
Not even sort of, right? So having something tax-free or tax invisible is, there's a lot of good ones in here so far, but this one is hitting me right in the middle of the forehead like a baseball bat.
Coming into tax season.
That's right. And if it's not hitting you in the forehead like a baseball bat, it should be. Okay. What's number 7?
No market volatility.
No market volatility. What does that mean?
It means I look at the stock market or the market in general as emotional, right? Like people don't act rationally. Logic always follows emotion for people. And so people sell and buy maybe at times when it's not advantageous to me or it hurts me. That's got a negative impact on me. And so that's how I look at that.
I call that the greed fear cycle.
Yeah.
So I buy something because everybody's telling me it's going up.
Yep.
So I buy it high. It starts to go down and I think, oh my gosh, it's crashing. I'm going to lose all my money. I better sell.
Yeah.
Right. And so what happens? I buy high and sell low.
Yeah.
That's when the emotions get in the way. Right. Now, what a stock market guy would tell you is buy and hold. Okay. And okay, the market has gone up, but you got to take that emotion out of it then. But if we didn't have market volatility, that would be better. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. What's number 8?
All right. Yields income besides capital gain. Jim, I got to tell you, probably, what am I, 44? So 35 years ago, my grandparents have always been in the real estate business. And I remember my grandmother, there must have been some capital gains laws changed back in the early to mid 80s. Cause I remember my grandmother being so salty about capital gains taxes changing. So now I get it, but now I know what that means now.
What does that mean?
Just means the taxes we're going to pay on the fruits of our labor, what we earned, what our investment earned, what taxes am I going to pay on that?
But it also means rate of cash flow, right?
Yeah.
So rate of cash flow, I mean, our property is appreciating in value, or our asset is appreciating in value, or our business, our franchise, whatever it is. But while it's appreciating in value, it's kicking off cash flow.